everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. This is the card that I've been making today. Stay with me, I'll show you how I made it. My stamp apparatus all set up, and I'm just going to dust my watercolour card with a bit of Stampin' Buddy using Versamark ink, and I'm inking up the butterfly from the Beautiful Day stamps, giving that a jolly good press. And I'm going to do it a second time because the watercolour card is textured, so I want to make sure that I've got plenty of ink. Now I'm just going to put my embossing powder onto the card, and then all I have to do is to heat it with my heat gun. Now it's nice and shiny. I'm going to add a little bit more in the middle there because I think I missed a bit. And now I'm fussy cutting out the butterfly, leaving a couple of millimeters around the outside of the embossed line. I'm going a little bit carefully around the antennae there. And there we are. I'm going to be working wet into wet, so I've given my butterfly a spray, picked up the excess, and I'm just preparing some of my re-inkers. This is Highland Heather. Just moving my spray bottle out of my way there. And because I'm going wet into wet, the the ink doesn't really need much. It just kind of spreads itself. Okay, so this is a little spot of petal pink, and I've got a little drop here of Pool Party, which I'm rather liking. Okay, so far so good. Wiping off my water pen, and now here I'm using Flirty Flamingo, and it's not what I was expecting. At this stage I'm kind of thinking, I think I've made a hash of this, and I'm wanting to start again. But you know what, when you're doing this kind of craft and you think, oh, it's not going well and I'm going to have to start from the beginning, do you know what, just keep going. All right, just keep going with it, because if you think you've ruined it, well, you've ruined it, so you might as well, carry on and make a really good job of it, or carry on and you might find that you actually like what you've got after all. So now I'm just outlining the wings in mint macaron, and now I'm going to start work on the background. Now this needs to be really, really wet. As you can see, I've really given that a really good soaking with my spray gun, and I'm just going to drop my re-inkers in. Just going to pick up a little bit. Got my palette off to one side. So here we are with the Pool Party. Just putting spots on. Just dotting it in, no particular rhyme or reason. And here I am with the, I think that is Petal Pink. This is definitely Highland Heather. I'm just dabbing it. And at this stage I'm not particularly happy with it. Here goes a spot of mint macaron. Not really happy with it. It's not doing what I wanted to, but I'm giving it some more water. Okay, sorry about the bump there. A little bit more colour. Just splatting it on. And now I've got my heat gun and I'm going to put it on to the slow speed, and I'm just going to give that a bit of a dry, and then when I've got the worst bits off, I shall put it on one side to dry properly, and then we'll come back and see what we have got. So that's had overnight to dry, and now I'm going to trim my card down to 3 3/4 of an inch wide so that it'll fit on the front of my card base. And I'm picking up one of these stamps from the Gallery Grunge set. I have some soft seafoam here, and as you can see, I'm not even troubling to mount my stamp onto a block. I'm just using the stamp just in my fingers, picking up some of that soft seafoam ink and just pressing it into my card. I'm going to give that a bit of a wipe with my Simply Chamois, and now I've got petal pink, and I'm doing some more of the same. So I'm just giving my card just a little bit of texture here and there. It's quite subtle, but it just adds just a little something extra to the front of that card. Okay. So I brought my trimmer back, and I'm trimming it into two pieces, one of which is 3 3/4 of an inch square. And I'm going to put those onto the front of my card base. My card base is 4 inches by 11.5, scored and folded at 5 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just putting my two panels in place. Now, as you can see, there is a gap in the middle, but don't worry about that because we're going to be covering that up. But let's put the butterfly on first. There we go. Just going to lift the wings up so that it looks like it's flying off the page. I've stamped the sentiment, always thinking of you, from the Beautiful Days stamps, and I'm just trimming that down. I'm going to use my ruler and my craft knife. So I'm just taking a little bit of time to line that up, and then I'm just stroking the card with my blade just over and over again. And if you do that with any luck, your card and your knife won't slip. So just stroke it. Don't even think about cutting, just think about stroking. And just keep doing it until you've cut all the way through the card. So the next thing I'm going to do is trim that down so that it's 3 3/4 inches, and we're going to fit the front of my card. That was a slightly risky move because I don't think that end of the ruler has got a steel edge in, but we got away with it. And I'm just going to put that in place, and my card is finished. So there it is. That is my finished watercolour card, and I do hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I'm very, very grateful that you have stayed with me to the very end, and I'd be thrilled to bits if you came back and saw me again sometime. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and come back and see me again sometime soon, won't you? Bye bye.